You'll never believe what's going on in Otter Creek now and what my bad neighbors have said. Tonight in Otter Creek, there's another meeting. Now, this isn't the monthly usual meeting. This is a meeting for the public to hear the tentative millage rate, which is the taxes that they would incur in the area, in the town of Otter Creek, and for the budget for Otter Creek, which is a very, very minimal budget, which doesn't even generate enough money to pay all of its current expenses. It's going to be an important meeting because the public gets to hear what the new council is proposing. And for most people, that probably means a $10, $15, maybe $20 increase on a yearly millage tax rate. While there's opportunity for public comment tonight, I think the most comments are probably going to be from Don the Con. And again, Russell's finding his voice again now that the accountability of my camera isn't there. But don't you worry, we're going to share it all with you anyway. Now, just in 6 days is the monthly meeting, and there's no doubt going to be a ton to unpack in this meeting in Otter Creek. It's going to be interesting. And then next month, George and I will be back in person, live from Otter Creek. Did that sound like we were hosting SNL? But the biggest news comes from our neighbors across the street. As a matter of fact, just days ago, we posted that Harley's actual biological grandma had stated on one of our videos, we had no clue, she watched our Sunday Night Live, stated that John Crook, and yes, she said Crook, and LIEnette blocked me. I'm the baby's grandmother. I feel so bad letting them adopt her. My daughter feels even worse. They lied to us. There's the actual right there of the posting right there, and it might have went black on you. But let's back up a little bit, because if we were to believe anything that comes from a person who's afflicted with diabetes, she said from the very beginning that it was her best friend that begged her to take Harley and to raise Harley. It was her best friend. They were so close. But yet truth always prevails. Truth will always come out from these lies. As a matter of fact, this is one of the funniest things that I think. She has now changed the description to her Facebook page. Let me read it to you. Our strip pole dancing minister has actually used Bible verses. Hard to believe, I know. Proverbs 12:22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight. If we were to actually read this and apply it, which I know application is very hard for her to do, she would understand that she's in the condition in life that she's in because she's a pathological liar, and that the Lord actually delights in those who are faithful, and she would understand that I'm in the condition I'm in because I'm faithful to the Lord. Now, she also goes on to say, from John, well, she quotes quite a few here. We'll start in Proverbs again. One of the 7 deadly sins is God hates a lying tongue. Well, then what does God feel about your tongue? Because we're going to get into all the lies that she has told over and over again. And it says here, here's why God hates a lying tongue. A person who lies hates the individual they are lying to. Proverbs 26:28. You think she looked these all up on her own? I don't think she knows where any of these are in the Bible. I think she Googled lying. That's what I think she did. And if you hate another human being, God views the hater as a murderer. 1 John 3:15, 1 John 4:20. And that is correct. Biblically, that is correct. So, that's what she's now posting, as she then asks, are you a What the Hales fan? To even get in her group. And if you are, you're not allowed. So let's get into these lies and how she actually got Harley. I'm about to show you a huge rant, and it goes on and on and on. I'm going to read it to you because to put it up on the screen for 5 minutes for you to read, to even try and decipher, is going to be insane. But if you want it, you can always go and find it. This stuff is all posted. Everything I communicate is posted. Now remember, one of the things that LIEnette continues to state is she has all this proof. She has texts, she has screenshots, and yet has never posted any of it. And yet, one of the things I do is share everything. So this is what she has actually said in regards to her best friend who wanted her to get Harley. I actually showed you the wrong screenshot. This one's much, much, much longer. So let's dig into it. Okay, LIEnette Michelle Preston. Number one, her name is not Michelle. She has never gone by Michelle. Her legal daughter's name is Michelle. Why does she keep changing her name? Why is all legal paperwork LIEnette? Her name is LIEnette. Lie number one. God hates a lying tongue. All right, here we go. I'm absolutely sick in my heart that I have to do this. It's sickened. I don't expect anything to really make sense. Grammar, syntax, punctuation, not this woman's forte. It sickens my heart, but they have reached out to her birth family of my child, or vice versa. Don't know how it happened, but I'm going to say this. Now let's stop right there. She has already posted that I'm the person that has reached out to everybody, all of her biological family members. And now she's saying I reached out to Harley's biological family members. The reality is this. I've reached out to nobody, but I have been reached out to. I've been reached out by all of her biological family that has ostracized her, and they have actually want nothing to do with her because of who she is, the things she says, and the things she does. Now, number two, I have been reached out by Harley's biological family as well. You can see it in the aspect that they're communicating on our videos. So yes, I've been reached out by the biological family. As a matter of fact, full transparency, I've been asked to have a phone conversation with Harley's biological mother. That was supposed to happen yesterday at 2 o'clock. I was having some medical issues, therefore it did not happen. That will happen in the future if we continue to move forward in that direction. Not at any time have I asked to communicate with anybody. They've all asked to communicate with me. So let's tackle that lie number one. Okay, now she says, I'm going to say this, that I'm just going to, instead of saying the individual's name, that Harley's grandmother is an alcoholic. Now let's just stop right there. This is a woman who claims that Harley's grandmother is her best friend. Okay? So we must be lie number one, right? All right, let's go even further into this. This is a woman, upon first meeting you, will tell you that her ex-husband, John Crook, is an alcoholic. Now she has a problem with her best friend being one. This is a woman who is addicted to painkillers, but she has an issue with her best friend being addicted to a drink. I don't understand where the issue is here for her. She's addicted to painkillers. She's with an ex-husband who is addicted to all kinds of things. From her own mouth, she has said that John was attempting to sell his pain meds to pay the bills. That's from her mouth. Okay, so now she has to play victim, and we have to get in this whole spiral of lies. Now, I don't know grandma from anybody else. That's not my issue. My issue is how in the world does a woman who's addicted to pain pills, who's living with an ex-husband, she tells openly, everybody, if you first meet her, he's an alcoholic and she wants to kill him. And now she has an issue with somebody else being addicted to strong drink. How does this woman function? Seriously, how does this woman function? So it wouldn't be okay for Harley to be with her biological grandma, but it's okay for Harley to be with John Crook. I don't get it. I mean, where is the reasoning and logic in this? And the reality is this: there is none. So whether grandma is or what is not what LIEnette says, the issue is LIEnette. The issue isn't the grandma. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to say this. Harley's biological grandma, and she doesn't say it that way, she uses her actual name, which I'm not going to say, is an alcoholic who has two of the siblings of my child, meaning Harley. And she is one of the major reasons why we left Northport. Let's stop right there. Now, We have been told over and over and over and over again, and I'm not going to share all the videos or the screenshots because I've shared them in other videos. They left Northport to save Harley's life. Now all of a sudden, they left Northport because of her best friend, Harley's biological grandmother. So here we go with more lies. We all know why they left Northport. They left Northport to get yet another scam to try and get money from me and George. It did not work. It has not worked. As a matter of fact, the exact opposite has happened. We've exposed scam and scam and scam and lie and lie and lie. We've exposed the abuse of them to each other and to the child. We've exposed the abuse to the animals. We've exposed the abuse to the community. So let's dig in a little bit further. Because apparently now her best friend is the main reason she left Northport. Meaning the grandma, she continually brought those children to my home, knowing that my baby was going to catch their illnesses. These kids were sick, snotty, nosed, ill children. All right, let's stop right there. It just blows my mind. Does she not remember everything else she's posted and said? She has posted that she had the world's most beautiful home in Northport. It was paid for, that the area children just loved coming to her house. They all loved her and her care. These are her words, previous posts and videos. You can find it all yourself. I'm not going to keep flashing it up on the screen. And now what does she call these children? And now we find out these children are actually Harley's biological brothers and sisters. She calls these children, let me make sure I get this right, sick, snotty-nosed, ill children. And then she says, and you bring them to the home of a baby that you're told has a life-threatening. Here we go with these words again. Life-threatening. Everything in LIEnette's life is life-threatening. Everything. Everything is life-threatening for this woman. Metabolic disorder. The metabolic disorder is not life-threatening. It's extremely manageable through diet. So, we're finding out that LIEnette actually lied about why she left Northport and came to Otter Creek, but we all know the truth. She came to try and get money from me and George. As a matter of fact, one of the very first things she did is she posted pictures at our gate, one of our gate in our fences, and claiming, oh, all the misery, all the pain is over. I can't remember the exact wording. I'm paraphrasing. All the trials, all the misery, all the pain, they were bullying me, I'm a victim. It's all over, fresh start, fresh baby, fresh car, fresh camper, fresh property. And what does she do? The same thing she always does. Destroys and burns every single bridge. She's posted it in the past. God didn't create her to have friends. There's no doubt about that. She has none. She has literally none. Remember what she did to her best friend, who she called Sista, Jamie Starr? Now she hates Jamie. Wait, hold a second. If we're going to take the verses that she wanted to post in front of her page, that hating somebody is like murder. LIEnette. So now John CROOK isn't the only one that claims to have murdered somebody in a bar in Illinois. Now you are murdering as well? I mean, the insanity with these two is mind-boggling. But let's keep progressing. All right, she brought continually those children to my home, knowing that the baby was going to catch their illness. These kids were sick, snotty-nosed, ill children. Okay. And she, meaning grandma, she refused to believe it. She said, I'm making up drama. You think? You make up drama everywhere you have ever been. Everywhere. Keep focused on this, that she's making up drama, because later on she's going to tell us that she hates drama. And yet she creates it and creates it and creates it. All right, so grandma says, you are making up drama and I'm making too much of it. It's not really true. And then, man, I swear I wish... Can we get Pat Sajak in here and Vanna White and somebody buy a period or a comma or exclamation point, something. I'd even go with a semicolon right now. My goodness, this is just insanity to try and read and decipher. It's insanity. Okay, by the way, she says all of this in front of the child. All of this has been said in front of Harley. Remember, because she's posted, Harley can't leave her sight 24/7 because it's life-threatening. So all of this garbage you're hearing about her grandma, about her siblings, about life, Harley heard it all come out of her mouth. Okay, it really is true, and I was there at her home on a day when Julian was yelling and screaming in the house, trying to be a child, and her husband reached over and smacked that child in the mouth. Stop. You want to guess how many people in Otter Creek have seen LIEnette open palm smack Harley in the head? Christian, you were there at the event where it was Meet the Candidates. Did you see it happen?
I didn't.
Who did see it happen?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Your wife did.
Oh, Patience.
Yes, your wife did. Now, do you remember? Do you remember the
I
event
do remember
I'm talking about?
saying this now.
Okay, wait. So you do remember?
I just Patience saying it. I didn't see it though.
But Patience did.
Yeah.
Okay, and George did, and there were what would you say? There were 25 other people there.
Yeah, probably about that many.
So your head was turned. You were focusing on filming and other things, and everybody else was watching it happen. I mean, this is just one public event where people watched it happen. And I'm not sure why LIEnette is talking about grandma here when LIEnette has all these own issues of herself. I mean, this is it's claiming victim status. Yes, yet again, it's projecting, because all of this is what LIEnette is and what she does. All right, hit that child in the mouth. And grandma walked that little boy outside with his mouth dripping blood and laughing about it and said, oh, well, darn it, I guess he shouldn't, I can't decipher. I guess he shouldn't have been screaming in the house. Hello, you didn't hit the child in the no, you don't hit him in the face. Hello, there's no need for that ever. Okay. From what I can decipher from this, LIEnette's saying you should never hit a child in the face. LIEnette's own children have posted videos claiming that LIEnette has constantly, they grew up with LIEnette hitting them in the face. The entire town of Otter Creek, I think there are very few people who have not seen LIEnette hit Harley in the head, in the face, open palmed. Not fisted, open palmed. And yet she's saying these foolish things. If I'm deciphering this correctly, it's very difficult to decipher. We call this projection, people. 100% projection. Okay, so let's go on. I blocked her out when we left Northport. Now hold a second. This is your best friend. Your best friend. You claimed this woman was your best friend. Now we know the truth. You met her in a Facebook group. Now we know the truth, you barely knew her and she barely knew you. Now we knew the truth, you don't have any friends. You don't know how to be a friend, which is why you don't have friends. You create drama everywhere you go. You do wrong everywhere you go. You're a pathological liar, and you lie to everyone to try and gain something. So, she blocked grandma. Now, this is the ironic part of this. Make sure you understand this. LIEnette, there are 9 groups. There's probably more. I think George told me there are 9 groups right now that LIEnette is running on Facebook. And the irony of it, alienation, parental alienation, grandparent alienation. What does she talk about? Her own kids keeping the grandkids away from her, from LIEnette. LIEnette's kids keeping their kids away from LIEnette because she's so toxic. Parental alienation. She's running a group against parental alienation. And what did she do to Harley's grandma? Parental alienation. Grandparental alienation. This is just mind-blowing, this woman. Completely and totally mind-blowing. I blocked her out when we left Northport. I didn't just block her. Now I had her blocked since Jeez, the lack of intelligence here is almost the same as the lack of healthy turtles on that purgatory place there. Apparently, the lack of food for the turtles. It's definitely the lack of intelligence in this is the same as the lack of the water there for the turtles and the shade. I don't know how you even decipher this. I didn't just block her now. I've had her blocked since Northport. She has called me the filthiest names anyone could ever say. Like LIEnette. Maybe people are calling you what you truly are. You are these things. You're a pathological liar. You are a scammer. You are a stalker. You're a con artist, and not a very good one. You're a unprofessional beggar. You fail at it. They're calling you what you are. She called me the filthiest names. And by the way, what have you called your own children when they didn't allow their children to be around you? You called them the filthiest names. We have screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of you calling your own children, your biological children, the filthiest names there are, LIEnette. I don't even know how a normal person who has a brain. Let's just keep going. There is no understanding mentally unstable people. She called me the filthiest names anyone could ever say because I would not let my baby call her mom or mom. That's what she wants to be called instead of grandma. And I said, no, I'm not having the baby that I adopted call you mom. The baby's not going to call you mama. I wouldn't let the baby call my own mother mom or mom. So I have every right to block her out of my life. Okay, you blocked her out of your life because she wanted to be called a certain thing. That gives you a right for parental alienation. How about you post that in your parental alienation group? The only reason why you can block somebody out of their life is if they want to call you, if they want the children to call you something, but you don't want them to call them that. That's the only reason for parental alienation that you're against in your parental alienation group, right? That must be, is that the only one reason? That's the only reason? Because you give no reasons for parental alienation in your group, LIEnette. My goodness. How unstable can you be? But let's keep going on. So I had every right to block her from Harley's life. No, you had no right whatsoever. None. So let's keep going. Man, I mean, this is just I don't even know. It's hard to put yourself, if you have a rational thinking mind, it's hard to put yourself in the position with an irrational, unthinking, unstable mind. You know, you can't really sympathize with an unstable mind when you have a stable mind. All right, I have every right to block her out of my life. This was not an adoption where the grandmother was given rights. There is no rights given to any of them. Well, from our understanding, there isn't even a legal adoption. Although we have screenshots and information that LIEnette claims that this whole adoption was done over Zoom. So we'll see, because I have a feeling that the family is going to contest the adoption. By all means. And I know you as the viewers, you've already asked, can you help fund the contesting of the adoption? After I have my conversation with Harley's biological mother, if that's something she's requesting, then yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about seeing what we can do. But until that information is relayed to me, we need help. That has not been relayed to me. That has not been asked for yet. We'll wait and see what happens. CPS, DHS, whatever you want to call them in Florida, told us that because of Harley's mom founded because Harley's, this thing is so freaking insane. Harley's mom found, like you lost and found, founded, past tense, lost, founded. I founded this. Look at this, Christian. I just founded this horseshoe. That's the word she put here. Because Harley's mom founded child abuse report with the baby being born, substance addicted to one drug, we'll just say it was methed up, and another drug, let's just say that LIEnette is no heroin, and whatever else substances were in the system. The baby had to go through withdrawals. We were in the ICU and ICU for 17 days with her GA1 and the substance addiction. I'm replacing words, so substance instead of, I'm sure you could, you know where I like to go shopping? Drug Mart. Substance addiction, where she was born, they call it neonatal absence syndrome, meaning substance addicted. Her daughter got off the plane and did, let's just say LIEnette is no heroin again. And her daughter got off the plane and did that in the bathroom at the airport before she even came up the alley to us. She had to wean off of substances to save the baby's life. I wanted the baby to be safe away from a bunch of people so that she could have these years without catching, very much illness, so that we don't end up with dystonia. Isn't that something from a comic book? Dystonia? Isn't there like an evil villain from Dystonia? I'm pretty sure that's where John CROOK is from, Dystonia. Dystonia, and we don't end up with mental disabilities. Listen, you are far, far past the point of ending up with mental disabilities. You are saturated with mental disabilities, LIEnette. And we don't end up in a wheelchair, and I've done a very good job of that. I also moved because I didn't want to be in her drama. Oh my goodness, here we go. This woman and this man create drama everywhere they go. Okay, we're gonna look at some of his drama too. But I didn't want to be in her drama. I didn't want her coming over all the time, demanding the baby call her mom or mom. So that's most I'm going to say about it. I have people in the family that I will not cut out, that I do care, and I want them to get along. I want the children to get along. And I know each other, I think, is very important, and I'm willing to do that. But I cut out the drama. This is the best part. Look at this. I will cut out any drama that comes into my life. I don't need it. I don't want it. Are you kidding me? You are nothing but drama. Every single interaction you have with every single individual in your life, they want nothing to do with you because all you do is create drama. I just can't even grasp this. I will cut out any drama that comes into my life. I don't need it. I don't want it. You've created drama with the entire populace, the entire town of Otter Creek. You've blocked them from a page that's supposed to be about Otter Creek. You have had individuals on your property shooting random firearms. You've endangered those people with all of the revolving door of addicts in your shed and tents. You've endangered them with your alcoholic ex-husband. You've endangered them with your own stupidity, incompetence, mental instability, and complete and total foolishness. You are the epitome of drama. And so's your paramour, who lives in a camper instead of Harley living in a camper. As a matter of fact, he just posted yesterday. This is hilarious. Let me find it here. Let me find it. Oh my goodness, please don't tell me they deleted it. I bet you they did. Oh, no, here it is. Top contributor right there, John CROOK. All right, this is going to be funny. All right, let's see what John CROOK has to stir up now. Now remember, when they got to Otter Creek, every post on all of these Facebook pages were all about Russell being corrupt, Mary being corrupt. It was all about Stuart Stewart being corrupt. It was about Attorney Warm being corrupt. Now what is it? Okay, there we go. We're going to read it. I'm going to read it right to you instead of flashing it on the screen. To the residents of Levy, be prepared. Our taxes to go up, mine included, because I live in Otter Creek. If you live in Levy County, they're doing a proposed tax increase right now. And by the way, his 1.66 acres, which he only has 50% of, the tax increase for him is maybe gonna go on his property taxes $15, maybe. I mean, it's a junk piece of property. So he's complaining about $15. Just so you understand, he's complaining about $15-ish. Now, could I be wrong? Yep, it could be less than that. It may be $10. Could I be wrong on the other end? Yep, it could be more than that. It might be $25. What I can tell you, it ain't much at all because I already have the percentages for my property, the same as he got his for the proposed tax increase. All right, they're going to increase because I live in Otter Creek. Otter Creek has nothing to do with it. The proposed tax increase is for Levy County, not for Otter Creek. The mayor and the vice mayor and one board member and the YouTuber. You think that YouTuber is me? It might be me. And the YouTuber in the process of bankrupting and unincorporating Otter Creek. Well, let's be clear. The mayor, the vice mayor, and one council member and the YouTuber cannot unincorporate a town. The town has to unincorporate the town. One individual can't unincorporate a town. Two individuals can't unincorporate a town. Four individuals cannot unincorporate the town. It would take 50 plus individuals in a town of Otter Creek size to unincorporate the town. Can this guy get any dumber? Seriously, can this guy get any dumber? And the answer is yes. I'm about to show you. All right, they're in the process of bankrupting, unincorporating Otter Creek for the sole purpose of buying it up and fining the elderly landowners for not cleaning up their property. You have a turtle supposed sanctuary and you're complaining about you being elderly and you don't have to clean up your property. Your property is supposed to be pristine for the health of animals. Not to mention you have a 3-year-old and you're complaining about the cleanliness of property. Why in the world are you not complaining that your property is filthy when you have a life-threatening diseased individual living on the property? I think your complaint is a little bit backwards there, John Crook. How stupid are you? The answer is extremely. Okay. Oh, by the way, for the sole purpose of buying up and finding the elderly, listen, you can't buy property that ain't for sale. If it's not for sale, you can't buy it. How are you going to buy up the property if it's not for sale? Again, this man doesn't know how to think. We've already shown that. I mean, this thing makes about as much sense as he has teeth in his mouth, which is 0. Okay? All right. Until then, until they have to turn their property over to their property over to them. They've already sold off the last piece of fire equipment. Oh no, what they did is actually did a trade with Chiefland. They sold them the truck for 2 years of fire protection. You think you would actually be happy about that? You think you would say, you know what? My daughter is going to be safe. But no, you create drama. You and your paramour, LIEnette. Okay, so they sold off the last piece of fire equipment so we would not have a volunteer fire department, which was talked about. Now they have to cut out the library because you have to have these two things to go unincorporate. How stupid can you be? Apparently, you can't have a fire department and you can't have a library if you're going to unincorporate. How dumb can this guy be? Where in the world are the laws that say you can't have a library? You can't. The only way to unincorporate is if you get rid of your fire department and you get rid of your library. Okay, they cut back the library. There is no volunteer fire department. By the way, who's going to do it? You? What are you going to do? Blow your alcohol breath on them? Put out the fire? You're only going to create more fires. That's who you are. That's what you do. You and your woman, you create drama everywhere. Also, they're doing things so illegally under sunshine law that they need to be stopped. Seems to me that you're doing illegal things, and this is going to be reported to the Attorney General yet again for you stating things. All right, here we go. The YouTuber is suing the town of Otter Creek. Duh, the whole world knows that right now. You think Levy County, citizens of Levy County haven't figured that out yet? And by the way, the citizens of Levy County are extremely supportive. Every time you leave Otter Creek and you go outside of Otter Creek, there's two things you hear. You say Otter Creek and they go, oh. Or you say Otter Creek and they go, those turtle people, oh. You'll also hear, if you say Russ, you'll hear alcoholic, town drunk, and you'll also hear those people need to be put in their place. They always thought that they did their own thing, ran things their own way, and they're very, very corrupt. That's what you hear when you go outside of Otter Creek. But let's keep going here. All right. The YouTuber is suing the town of Otter Creek. We all know that. Working with the mayor who wants to settle the court case with him. You mean you should actually be happy that your mayor is attempting to settle a court case instead of taking it through the system where it could be upwards to $50,000 or $100,000. You're not happy with your mayor actually trying to settle a court case instead of costing the town more money? Again, you make about as much sense as you have teeth in your mouth. But let's keep going. Because Otter Creek can't go unincorporated with a lawsuit going on. Again, genius here. These two are lawyers. Who in the world said you can't unincorporate with a lawsuit? This is how you unincorporate. Doesn't matter what's going on in the town. Makes no difference whatsoever. Doesn't matter if you have a volunteer fire department. Doesn't matter if you have a library. Doesn't matter if you have a lawsuit. The only way to unincorporate, you put it up to a vote for the people in the town. The town says yes, the town says no, boom, you're unincorporated. Or you stay incorporated. One or the other. All right. Genius here. This man is just so smart. I don't know why he's not writing books. I don't know why he's not a full-time YouTuber educating people on the law. Okay. So, one of them bought land next to the park and town hall so that when the town folds, they can buy up town hall and the garage and park at an auction cheap because Levy County will not need it. Genius. Yet again, genius. We'd like to know who actually bought this land. I mean, you're claiming it, you're stating it, so let us know. Where's your proof? Who bought the land? So now somebody's buying town hall as well? As a matter of fact, if town hall goes up for sale, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to make sure I buy it just to prove you, yet again, extremely, totally wrong. But here's the major issue. Town hall isn't up for sale. Town hall hasn't gone up for sale. The town is still incorporated and the townspeople haven't voted to unincorporate. So therefore, town hall can't go up for sale. This guy is a moron. Moron. Okay, let's keep going on. Let's see. Levy County won't need it. The YouTuber researched the poorest and the worst in the failing towns in Florida and took action on his plan to rename it Otter Creek. The moron can't even type out the word odd. He put in UD. What are we? Now we're a town underneath a cow hanging with nips, squirting milk everywhere? It's not an udder. So the YouTuber researched the poorest and worst in the failing towns in Florida and took action on his plan to rename it Otter Creek or Tube Town and bring it to all of his fans to buy up all Otter Creek and hunt and dig for dinosaur facts, metals, and detect. Hunt for Bigfoot on his property with the campground. That's funny because you haven't even been on my property. How many people do I let on my property? My property is completely and totally closed off because of people like you. As a matter of fact, because of people like you, I had to buy this property that's completely and totally surrounded by a national park so people like you could never, ever, 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 ever stalk me and live next to me again. All right. And there's hails of a lot more going on. But be prepared for this post to be attacked by his crazy fans and paid trolls. Apparently I'm paying trolls now. I know you love your town, and if we stand as a team, we can save it from the horrible nightmare they have planned for Otter Creek. The only one who will profit from all of this is them, and Levy County residents will pay for it dearly. Well, here's the major question. Why, if this is the poorest, as he's claiming right here, the YouTuber, let me find it again, one of them, Town Hall, Levy County, the YouTuber researched the poorest, worst, whoops, just missed it. Lost it. Here, I got it back, Christian. I got it back. I only lost it for a second. I got it back. The YouTuber researched the poorest and worst and failing towns in Florida. Well, gee, how did you end up here? Did you research the worst and failing and poorest town in Florida and go, I gotta save my baby? She has a life-threatening disease. Or did your parental alienate from the entire family, stalk a YouTuber to Otter Creek in hopes of getting money from them? And when you found out you weren't getting none, and they found out you were abusive to animals and children and to the town, all of a sudden you're in a position trying to play victim. Yet again, saving yourself any way you possibly can. But there is no saving you. You have a sick baby, life-threatening disease, and you chose the worst place in the world, in the state of Florida, for her to live. Real smart.